Have you ever tried to either start or stop a habit? I think we all have, and I think we all have also tried and failed. Well, that's what I wanted to address in this week's solo video. It is a game changing approach to managing these habits. Whether you're trying to kick a bad habit or start a positive one, your boy, Gabriel Mark, has your back. We're calling this one day at a time, 7 steps to build or break a habit. Follow me, won't you? Habits, just like anything, are hard to overcome, whether it's getting rid of something like booze, nicotine, bad food, too much screen time, or if you're trying to start something positive like, hey, I want to read a chapter a night. All of this stuff can honestly seem to be a little overwhelming sometimes. So that's why we break it into one step at a time, one day at a time, one action at a time, or one just move towards that goal at a time. Enough of the flim-flamminess. Let's get right into it. My name's Gabriel Mark. This is Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we uplift you. Or at least we sure try to. Number one, when you're trying to start or stop a habit one day at a time, it's to set clear, achievable goals. Setting small, accomplishable goals makes it just way easier. Instead of thinking like, I need to lose all this weight so I have a 6-pack for pool party season. Instead, think of, okay, today I'm not going to have bad meals for all 3 of my meals. Maybe for dinner, I'm going to have a bunch of protein, bunch of veggies, starting small, building to maybe a couple more, and then you add in a little workout, and then that becomes consistent. So when you set clear, achievable goals, and then you start with small, specific direction and actions that you can take and try and make that a daily accomplishment, I think that is where we start. So tip number 1 is set clear, achievable goals. Number 2 for starting or stopping a habit is creating a daily routine. I use my phone. I use reminders for everything, from doing my little Duolingo thing, so I'm learning mi español, or if it's like you got to stay on top of, make sure you do your journaling or your meditation. Make sure you do that. It's a non-negotiable. I have it as a reminder. And so when you do these things, you start creating a daily routine. So when you incorporate the habits into your daily schedule, that's going to build consistency. Shout out TB. So tip number 2 to starting or stopping a habit, create a daily routine. Tip number 3 is to track your progress. Once again, this is for starting or stopping a habit. Whether you use something that you write down in an app or legit, I have a black notebook and I record my weight every day. I know all of like the gurus out there are going to say that's not the way to do it. Well, I like to do it that way. I like to see every single day. I wake up and I weigh myself just so I can see. A lot of people say stick it to a week, but I do this so I can implement our 3rd tip and track my progress. Whether that number on the scale says something that I'm stoked about or I'm bummed out about it, it's going to motivate me one way or another. So tip number 3 is track your progress. Write it out as you continue to succeed in your goal. Write it down, yo. Number 4 is celebrate your small wins. And I love this one because acknowledging and rewarding yourself for every day that you successfully tackled and stuck to your habit is huge, because everybody else, strangers, family, loved ones, your dog, they're not necessarily going to be rooting for you. But if you can celebrate yourself that you went out with buddies and you didn't smoke, everyone's lighting up or they're doing the Zyn thing, that whole night you refrain from taking any kind of nicotine in. That's awesome. That's a win. Make sure you are acknowledging that so you give yourself an attaboy. Or like a healthy habit, I really want to be able to do a Spartan race, right? I really want to do a mud run. So a small win. Today I walked 10% more than what I set out for a goal. You need to celebrate those things. So number 4 is you celebrate your small wins. Even if they're real small, celebrate it. You're making moves to better yourself. So that 4th tip of celebrating yourself is a good way to stay on the right path. Number 5 is to stay patient and stay persistent. And I need to know this about persistence, patience as well. Patience is huge with all things, right? So whether you're in a horrible waiting room area and you're just in a very uncomfortable situation, or maybe a relationship isn't quite blossoming the way you wanted it to, you need to be patient. Especially be patient with yourself. Just like you were celebrating wins in the first tip, this next tip, being patient and persistent, you need to allow yourself to, like I say most weeks, is that you're human. You need to understand that any kind of habit formation is going to take time. So go easy on yourself. As long as you're making an effort to start or stop these habits, I think that knowing that you're human and allowing yourself to execute our fifth tip, which is be patient and persistent. And just like a YouTube channel or a podcast or a fitness goal or trying to learn how to code, I don't know why that's such a trendy thing, but I'm sure it's probably super important to learn. Just understand that it's going to take time. Number 6 is adjust as needed. So not only are you tracking your progress every day, but maybe you're realizing something that you're doing isn't quite working out. Maybe in that same circumstance, when you go out with the boys and everyone's smoking and you're trying to get rid of smoking, maybe you got to be like, hey, boys, I really can't be in that situation. At least not tonight. I'm feeling it. I know I'm going to smoke. So you got to make those adjustments. Sometimes they're a little harder. I don't even usually keep pasta in my house because I know, me being an Italian dude, that I'm going to want to have pasta because pasta rules. So unless it's Sunday, I'll go shopping Saturday for my Sunday cheat meal. I don't even keep that stuff in my house because I made the adjustment knowing that if I have tasty grub or ice cream or something, I'm probably going to, I might have a moment of weakness and go and eat it. So you just need to be flexible and willing to make changes on what approach is best for you, starting or stopping a habit. So that's number 6, just adjust as needed. And finally, number 7 is seek support. If they're not adding to your life, get them out of here. If they're not with you on the goals that you set forth, get them out of here. Share your goals with your family and friends. I've read so much stuff about be silent, keep them guessing. Well, I'm making this freaking channel and God knows what people are thinking, but it's all good. Namaste. When you share your goals with your family and friends, just like what I did with my Halo group at the start of the year, it not only is it encouragement, but accountability. We talked about that before. And when you be like, hey, I'm going to do this. I'm going to kick nicotine. I'm going to start working out more. I'm going to write this novel. I'm going to start this YouTube channel. When you got people being like, all right, let's see it. It adds accountability. So that support system is going to be huge. But that's pretty much it for the 7 tips. But just remember that taking it one day at a time, one step at a time is the key to building or breaking any habit. Even if it has to go down to for the next 5 minutes, I'm not going to light one up. I'm not going to have a drink. I'm not going to eat the ice cream in my freezer. Or for 5 minutes, I'm going to watch someone's YouTube channel on how to day trade. If I can just do it for 5 minutes, guess what? You broke it down and you're working towards that goal and starting a good habit. I'll say this, no matter what and how much you break it down, I think 2 weeks is the number. At least it is for me. When you're trying to go to the gym consistency, or you're trying to get rid of carbs out of your diet, if you can get yourself past that 2-week mark, I feel like that is the magic number, because then at that point, it's like in your head, it's concrete. That's what it is. 2 weeks for me, at least, is the magic number. So when you're setting your goals, maybe say, hey, I'm going to go outside and walk for a half hour every day or 5 times a week for 2 weeks, and just commit to that. When you decide, I'm done with this way I'm living, I want to make a change, you use these 7 tips, you break it down, you implement it, you have people hold you accountable, and you uplift and better yourself, yo. I think that's the best way to do it. Try and implement these 7 tips. I feel like it's a solid blueprint to making lasting changes. Start small, stay consistent, and celebrate your progress along the way. I'll say this also just on a personal note. So I started at 220 something, and I'm still not at my goal. I don't know if 180 is where I should be. I think that's what I'm supposed to be at. But every day when I do my weekly weigh-in addition to my daily, I write down the number remaining in pounds in my mirror in like this cool like glass marker stuff. So it will say like 18 pounds to go, and I have to stare at it every time. Anything that you can do to implement positive moves to get you on your mission, whether it's little stuff that you write in the mirror or say you're trying to lose weight. I hang a shirt up from like 2009 that looked really good when I was hitting or 2013 when I was at like a Vegas club, but actually it's starting to fit pretty well these days. But and I'm not being a jerk saying that. It's for my own benefit. I've been working my ass off, and I'm not using Ozempic. I'm literally just working hard. I have that hanging outside my closet sometimes, staring at it. Like, I want to be able to fit in this shirt. So whatever you have to do to get or break a habit, I think is right for you. Everything is subjective to what's best for you. Either way, celebrate your progress along the way, stay after it, make a goal and tackle it. Just remember that your future is bright. Keep up the good work, praise God often, and keep moving forward and upwards. My name's Gabriel Mark, and this is Download the Uplift, a place where when we fall, we try and uplift you. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you Monday with the all-new podcast. You're awesome. Later.